this seminar, and we've asked Mr. Jerry Jones to come from LA, California. He did an awesome job on last July the 31st. Praise the Lord, and we thank the Lord for Brother Ashley being here. A lot of y'all know him, probably some of y'all haven't seen him, just heard his voice. Praise the Lord. So we want to come on up, Brother Ashley.
First of all, on behalf of our radio station, Heaven 97 KHVN, it's an honor to be with you this evening. Of course, Bishop James Brock came to our radio station and advertised this event regarding grants. As a working journalist here in Dallas-Fort Worth for the last maybe 25, 30 years, I have watched a lot of things happen with regards to what's going on right here in Dallas-Fort Worth. We are in the best place in the United States of America when it comes down to the economy, Texas, because there's no income tax, property values are very, very low, and what we've understood about the President of the United States, that he's, of course, historical. His administration is going to be coming to an end. Here in the state of Texas, some of you all may remember when there was a kind of a reform of 501c3s because there had been so much abuse of the 501c3 system. Now, by a show of hands, do any of y'all remember maybe about 7, 8, maybe 10 years ago when they reformed the 501c3 process here in the state of Texas? Let me just see it by a show of hands if you remember that. Okay, I see 2 or 3 people here. Y'all remember that. Because at one time, here in the state of Texas, you could get a 501c3 just by filling out a form and mailing it in. But there was a lot of abuse with those 501c3s. People were getting all kinds of federal money. They were abusing the money. And as a working journalist, I hated to have to report on some of our people having to go to jail. Could not withstand an IRS federal audit. Now, this is federal taxpayer money that you're talking about tonight. This is a grant. There's a difference between a grant and a loan. When you get a grant, you don't have to pay the grant back. That's just money the government says, I'm going to grant you an opportunity to see if you can do what you claim you can do. Now, if you abuse that opportunity and the IRS comes and says, okay, Mr. Ashley, we granted you $75,000 to open up that after-school program, and you took $75,000 and went to Las Vegas with your girlfriend. Okay. You took $80,000 to have an after-school program at your church, Reverend so-and-so. The next thing I know, you use that as what they call leg money. You wound up in California with your girlfriend and your wife back here in Dallas. Those were the kind of things that were happening. So tonight, as you hear Jerry Jones, who's a professional, the process of getting this money is very, very easy. Sinning is very, very easy. It's easy to sin. It's very easy to sin. But it's very, very difficult to do what's right. But if you do what's right, if you're meticulous, if you dot all the I's, cross all the T's, you would be amazed at the opportunity that you could have as an individual and how God could use you. The thing about it is, as a working journalist, all we're asking you is be allies of truth. If you are not willing to be a soldier of truth for the times that are being right now, and you just in here for some free money, you might be an ally of Satan. And ain't nobody got time for that at this time or where we're living at right now. Ain't nobody got time for that. So you've got to be committed in your heart, because this process, this brother is going to come in here and lay it out. It's just a matter of filling out the application and understanding how to fill it out. But you've got to have some kind of moral substance, some kind of integrity, some kind of fortitude if somebody is going to grant you $150,000 cash money. Have me.
All right.
So as Jerry Jones is going to come forward tonight, the biggest thing I just want to tell you, being an ally of truth, being a journalist, all the Lord has called some of us to do is be a watchman on the wall. And members of the media, we are considered to be the 4th estate in the United States of America. We're supposed to hold Congress accountable. We're supposed to hold these politicians accountable.
Amen.
Now, whether or not Hillary lied in the emails, I don't know. Whether or not Donald Trump has worth $10 billion since he won't show anybody his income taxes, I don't know. But if we catch him lying, we got to tell you. But the point I'm trying to make tonight is when you get this information, and you are maybe among the chosen few who have been called. Now, many have been called, but few are chosen.
You may be called specifically with your ministry to go into the vineyard and work to save souls in the long range. Because after all, judgment day could be here. You're going to have to stand in front of the judgment seat of Jesus Christ. When the book of life is opened up, you've got recording angels taking it down. If you get $200,000 from the federal government because this brother shows you how to do it, and you wind up misusing that money and you get yourself indicted and you wind up going to federal prison, don't expect an earthquake to get you out. Don't expect it because you put yourself in there. I'm just trying to tell them, Bishop, because as a working journalist, an ally of truth, we're sick and tired of seeing people take these opportunities and not really use them for what you could use them for.
All right.
You could get $80,000 and pay yourself. Right, just do what you get the money that you say you're going to do with it. So, as I get ready to take my seat, as we get ready to move on with the program, Bishop, I didn't mean to get on the soapbox, but
Go ahead.
I just feel the sense that the Lord is saying, tell him, Brother Ashley, I'm looking for soldiers of integrity in this day. I don't have time for nobody that's shucking and jiving and playing, because we're almost out of time. President Barack Obama will be leaving office pretty soon. We don't know if Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump's going to get in there. As it stands right now, they're $42.8 billion. Jerry? $42.8 billion that's available in grant money that the president has made available. Now, under the Republicans, you know, that kind of money wasn't available. You know, they spent it on, a $300 toilet seat? Something like that. Now, October the 1st, now see, timing is very, very important. Whenever you deal with anything with the federal government, timing. Even when you get subpoenaed to be on a jury, you got to be there on time.
Amen.
Don't let that judge catch you sleeping. He'll throw you in jail. But with the federal government trying to get this money, you've got to make sure that your applications are in on time. You've got to do everything above board. And this is a brother that we have here tonight who knows exactly what he's doing. He's got a track record of doing this. I mean, Shaquille O'Neal. Shaq will verify that the brother did paperwork for Shaquille O'Neal, people like that. Bishop Brock is here locally. They knew each other. And before President Barack Obama leaves, we just encourage you to, dot your I's, cross your T's, and most of all, have the kind of integrity, because if or when you get the money, just make sure that you know that the recording angels take it down, to make sure that you're going to do the right thing with the money, or else. There was a book, who was it? Spiro Agnew. Some of you may remember Watergate, when Richard Nixon had to resign. Spiro Agnew was his vice president. He thought he was going to be the next president of the United States. And they didn't want Spiro. The people who were responsible for killing John Kennedy right here in Dallas, Fort Worth, they didn't want Spiro. And if you think I'm lying, there's a book called Go Quietly or Else. And that's what they were telling Spiro Agnew. You better get out of here or else. And the only thing I'm saying to you is that the Lord is saying, look, if you're not serious about this, go quietly or else, because he's going to be holding all of us accountable. Thank you very much.
We give you Brother Jones.
I say praise the Lord again.
Praise the Lord.
My name is Jerry Jones. I've been writing grants since 1991. We've written over $550 million in grants. We've gotten over 9,000 501c3s. Some of the things that I wanted to really reiterate on, what he was talking about when you get funded. And a lot of you are not privy to this information. I want you to keep this in mind. And you can write this down. It's a 60-40 rule. 60-40 rule. 60% of the money out to lessen the burden of government, 40 for administrative services. That way you never get yourself in trouble when you get the money. When you use the 60-40 rule, means for every $100,000 you get, $60,000 goes out to helping those people that you're trying to help assist. 40 for running your operation with your telephone, your staff, and all the other people. So when you get any type of internal audit, as long as you keep that in mind, the 60-40 rule, you'll be able to do an educated job and being able not to put yourself in harm's way in terms of using money to your own advantage. Now, 49, and I'm going to say this one time before, 49% of your board can be paid. 49%. So now I'm going to do this. If we have 7 people on your board, how many people can get paid? good. I heard a lot of people say 3. So even if you got 7 people on the board, only 3 people can get paid. It's 49%. You can have up to 22 people on your board of directors. And all these people, it's imperative, some of them are non-monetary and some of them are monetary. Depends on who you and your board decide that you want to pay out of the grant money. But the grant itself is secondary. What I want to talk about a little bit more today is all the people that's got their 501c3 and they've been had it and they don't know the status. If you have had a 501c3 and you have not registered your 990 at the end of the fiscal year, and you need to check, you can go to irs.gov and check your EIN number against your status to see where you are. If you haven't done your 990 for 3 consecutive years, you have been revoked. Okay? So that's what you first need to do, is check your status of where you are. Now, for the people that's never ever got a 501c3, we're going to talk about that today. A lot of people are looking to try and get some funding or start a new business. Well, in order to be able to start this new business, you have to be able to have that 501c3. No grant, no 501c3. No 501c3, no grant. They go hand in hand. And right now, I want to bring this to everybody's attention. September 30th, write it down. September 30th is the end of all grants for 2016. The government's new grant starts October 1st. And whoever's going to be the president at that point is in charge of those grants. So right now, Obama still got it as a mandate that you can still get your 501c3 as soon as possible. Not necessarily using my company or whoever, just get it done. You need the 501c3 if you put it in the safety deposit box, because it's for life. And if the new mandate comes in after October 1st, and they got a new mandate, because when I started out, there was 500,000 people that had 501c3. Right now, it's 17.9 million people got 501c3, and only 20% of African Americans are the ones that have it. Okay? So these things are imperative for you, because later on down the road, this just happened like Katrina. You're going to look around and some catastrophic situation happens, and guess what? You're not going to be able to do anything but standing with your fingers in your mouth when United Way, Red Cross, and all the other people were sitting there asking them to not send money. Now, people that were down there in Louisiana, they didn't have 501c3, so they weren't eligible for it. So FEMA came down there and gave money to all the white companies that would have their 501c3, and most of the blacks stood around wishing they could get their houses and stuff together, even get out of town. So I'm telling you, don't put yourself in that kind of predicament. That 501c3 is your gold card. It's like an insurance policy. And if you don't utilize our company to get it, by any means necessary, go on and get that 501c3. The statement is going to come into play on the 501c3 is the same information that's going to be on the grant. If you look at one, you look at the other. And most people that have a 501c3 has to go somewhere else, have somebody to write it, and then it's inconsistent with what it says. And then the people that's reading it say, nah, that ain't what the articles say, and they're going to pull them. So all I'm saying to you is let's do these 501c3s effectively. If you don't utilize my company, utilize whoever you would like to use, and being able to get this done as expeditiously as possible. I mean, I've been doing this so many times, and I look around and I see all over the United States the same problem the African Americans got. They do a lot of talking, they don't do nothing. And then some of them do go on and get their 501c3, and then they don't follow through the protocol, and then it doesn't help them at all either. So you've got to work the program. Now, the second thing that we're going to consider, once you have your 501c3, and you're going to look to try to get some grant money, the first thing you do when you get your 501c3, you register with sam.gov. Write it down, sam.gov. And you also register with Dun & Bradstreet. SAMS.gov and grants.gov, grants.gov, will let you know when any grants come available for the things that your mission statement says that you do. So you don't have to go looking. They're going to take your email and you give them your bank account. When you register with SAMS.gov, you give them your bank account and all pertinent information, because it's a government agency. And when these grants become available, they will email you and let you know that these grants are available for you. And if you're not getting it, you can call them back up and ask them why you're not getting anything compared to what's yours, because you ain't gotta go look for them anymore. Used to, you have to go looking all over. There are 5 ways to getting grants, and write these down. Number 1 is corporation. There's 44 million corporations out there can write 10% of their annual income off to give you grant money. Number 2 is foundation. Number 3 is private philanthropy. Private, like, let's say, president of FedEx, president of UPS, president of Bank of America. Those are the people that you can also with private philanthropy. And last but not least, you're going to have, huh? Yeah, these two go together. Okay, the reason I did that for a reason. Okay, listen to me good. Look at me. Look at me. Corporations, funding foundation, private individual. Did you everybody hear this?
Yes, sir.
Shareholders. Got it? They go in the boardroom and make a decision to give you some money and they get a tax write-off. They ain't interested in too much what you do and they're not gonna come back after you. Government and state, this is where you guys come in. Taxpayers. Shareholders, taxpayers. Now the taxpayers are real sticky about dotting the I's and crossing the T's, but you get a lot more money. So that's all 5. So when you're dealing with government and state, you're looking at taxpayers. When you're dealing with corporations, funding foundations, private individuals, you're looking at shareholders. And if you want to get the quicker money with less, the shareholders would be the best way to go because they only give somewhere between $5,000 and $8,000 and $10,000 per grant. But if you're looking at government, they start at $100,000. So those are things that you need to know. And there are 44 million corporations out there. There's 10,000 foundations out there. There's 107,000 millionaires and billionaires out there that are giving away money as a tax write-off. And then you got also 17,000 government grants in the avenue of probably almost $1 trillion. Obama last Thursday gave away $42.8 billion. That was out of that $787 billion stimulus package that he couldn't get off. So all of the money that he has on that stimulus package has to be out the door by when?
September the 30th.
Exactly. And if you don't have your 501c3 to get some of the seed and grant money, you're not gonna get it. Okay? Now, getting your 501c3 incorporated in Austin, Texas is going to take 5 to 7 working days. So just look at the time, you got September 30th, you'll be incorporated as a nonprofit corporation between 5 and 7 days in the state of Texas in Austin. Once you have your 501c3 indicating that you've been incorporated as a 501c3 in the state of Austin, at that point, with your articles and everything that you have, at that point when you get back, you make a copy of that articles of incorporation and you put it in with the 1023 application for the IRS to give you your determination letter. Without a determination letter, you're not tax exempt.
What was the last number?
Pardon me? The 1023.
So you don't do it online?
You could do it online, but you run the risk of some things happening and then you get audited. All they want to do is catch you any way they can get you, but you need somebody professional, whether it be us or somebody, to do what you need to do so it's done and over with. Because you have, on your application, it's 15 pages on your application, it's 49 pages on the bylaws, then you got your 3-year forecast budget and all this other stuff that you're going to have to do. And unless you've been doing it for a long time, I don't advise it, but you can do it. You know, it's not that it can't be done. You just got to work with them consistently because they're not going to tell you anything. But when you get it inside at Covington, Kentucky, there may be an audit, but then you got to start back at the end of the line again. So that's why you be careful who you pay your money to, because if they can't guarantee they're going to help you when the questions start coming, you're going to wind up losing that too. So I just basically came by to inform and help you guys to get that 501c3 by any means necessary. Grants, we do, it takes 3 to 4 weeks to write a grant. There are no guarantees with anybody's grant. Anybody think they can write you a grant and you're gonna get a grant, they're lying. You can't get a grant, no matter what you do. It depends on who's giving it to you. But nobody's gonna be able to tell somebody that you're gonna be able to write them a grant. And for sure, we have a 78% success ratio. We're number 2 in the nation in writing these grants. But can I tell you you're gonna get a grant? Absolutely not. And I'm never gonna tell you that. But I can guarantee you your 501c3. I can do that. I've been audited 67 times, so I know exactly what they're looking for and what you need to have in there to make sure you have all the diversity of what you need to do, so you don't have to go back and get a certificate of amendment in order to change it later on. So all I'm saying to you, he's giving you opportunities. You have to take them, not necessarily because of us, but you need to get somebody to help you to get that 501c3. That's your main key, the 501c3. Grants are going to be around forever, no matter who gets in office. But if they started out with 500,000 and now they're at 17 million people, everybody can't get no 501c3. Who's going to pay taxes? If you tax exempt, who's going to pay taxes? They ain't going to keep letting you do it. So it's just a matter of time before it's going to be cut anyway. But if it gets cut, don't you be one of the ones got cut and left out. Same thing happened when everybody was getting credit. So as the credit thing rolled around, now you couldn't file for bankruptcy. White folks have filed bankruptcy for years. Now you can't even do it. Please, come on, they're moving uptown, across town, out of town. So we get to be part of the solution and not part of the problem. Has it been helpful for you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
If you're a felon, can felons apply for grants?
Man, listen, I done made more felon rich than Carter got killed. Yeah, listen, let me tell you something. Y'all got that. You know, y'all that. Think about it. Who's in better position to help people get straight with their lives than somebody who's already been in trouble?
That's the truth.
You know, if you've been over there in that youth development program, you've been smoking weed and selling weed and 8 balls and all this other stuff, you done got 5 or 15 years in jail. Now you gonna come out here and get straight. The first thing you're gonna do, you got a felony, so you can't get your record expunged. Drop the 501c3 and 10 minutes later you can do whatever you want.
Marcus Skipper. This is my wife.
Anyway, so Jerry is very professional, and as soon as you, tell him that you wanna go ahead to get your grant proposal and your 501c3, he's gonna get it done quickly. You know, he's gonna tell you what you need to send in, and he's gonna send you the information you need. So once you decide, you'll have that back, he does it by FedEx, and you'll have it back to you less than a week, probably about 3 or 4 days. Yeah, so everything's gonna be in order. He's gonna have it, places wherever you need to sign off, what you need to do is gonna be in order. First, you have to send it off, everything to the state. And then when you get that back, then you send it off to the, government. And he'll have everything in order, all the instructions. He's very thorough, he's very professional, and, you'll be happy that you did business with him.
You're gonna be able to do a thorough and a real good job, then turn around and follow the protocol and get it done.
All right.
Y'all ready?
Right here, baby.
Number 7258. 7258. Got one more drawing, but after they finish off their